Okay, so last time we had spoken to King Lysandus' ghost. We'd sprinkled him with the restful death, and he indicated that Lord Woodbourne was responsible for his death and he wanted vengeance on Lord Woodbourne, otherwise he wouldn't be exercised. So that's a simple task for us. After we've done Lysandus' quest, we get given, we get to access go to Wayrest, and then you get to go to Woodbourne Hall. Before this, you do not get it. Doesn't appear on your map, but it's by the little lake in Wayrest. Anyhow, this is Woodbourne Hall, the home of Lord Woodbourne, and for some reason he's got an orc warlord and a battle mage who does quite a lot of damage to you. And this is his main entrance hall. It's very convenient at this point to have levitate. Let's just check him for items, but it's very convenient to have levitate because levitate lets you skip a large part of the dungeon. This is the entrance hall, and there are massive ramps on either side, and you've got to pull a lever to line up the ramps to take you either way. Look, this is very nice, all these statues and everything like that, but look at that, this room is absolutely huge, and those pillars are holding up these ramps, and you can go through the door, pull on the ramps, and then you can get your way up. But we're not going to do that. What we'll do is we'll heal up here and we'll levitate to the top. By this stage I would have thought you should have at least had a basic levitate spell or bought a magic item which gives you levitation powers, because that would be handy and sensible, because you need levitate pretty much all the time in this game. So you can see the ramps coming up, but they don't quite line up with each other. They just lead you to another doorway which you have to complete another quest, and then they finally line up and you can walk all the way. There's a mage or battle mage. Slaughter him. It's a mage. Okay, we'll hope that our levitation doesn't run off, but there's some extra treasure up here that we can grab. Yeah, why would Lord Woodbourne have a castle like this? It's a bit ridiculous. But like all the normal random treasure that's scattered around, it's not really that useful. This is where you'd end up anyhow. Let's kill this warrior. I guess it's a warrior. Yeah, I can kind of figure out what class they are by looking at them. Yeah, we go up this ramp, and this is the start of the major dungeon. That's an adamantium claymore. My one's much better, and I can't use adamantium anyway. But I just wondered if he had any more loot on him. He managed to damage me. Him and that maid managed to damage me somewhat. And of course, in this dungeon, you have two options. One option is to go and find Lord Woodbourne's diary, and then give his diary to someone, and then other people go and kill him. Or, and that happens off screen basically, but he dies, or you get to kill him yourself, and you might as well kill him yourself, to be honest. There's no point in being coy about it and not killing him. After all, you've killed practically everyone in the kingdom of Daggerfall, so it doesn't really matter. In terms of the dungeon itself, this dungeon is quite small. I suppose if you combined the pulling down the levers to activate the rampways here as one part of the dungeon, then it would be a reasonably large dungeon. But as it is, if you skip this first part by levitating up, it's quite easy. And like I say, by now you should certainly, this is pretty much end game now. We're gonna at the end of this, we're going to have everyone after us, which reasons we'll find out later. And so it's pretty much end game here, so you should have all the end game gear. Now I've got Daedric lower half and mithril torso thing. I picked up that mithril thing by doing another Mages Guild quest. Have you seen that? That's they make funny noises, but they are centaur. And it's nice to see the occasional centaur. I think we saw a giant before. We've seen a giant before, and centaurs. And what are we missing? We just haven't seen harpies or many kind of Daggerfalls around, but we'll probably see one or two of them later. But these centaurs are kind of rubbish. They are a replacement for rats and saber-toothed tigers. They're not particularly worth looking at. And two sword strikes and they're out. But yeah, my gear, I picked up some mithril equipment, mithril cuirass, by doing again another Mages Guild quest where you defend the Mages Guild, and the thieves happen to wear mithril gear, so I was quite fortunate in that regard. But all the loot, of course, is completely randomly generated. I guess a very low percentage has mithril, a very low percentage has adamantium, or the highest material for your level. And an even lower percentage has Daedric, I guess. But you end up killing so many of these NPC warrior, mages, thieves, nightblades, and all of these that eventually you're gonna get some decent equipment, either in one of the dungeons or in one of the quests. Again, he's got adamantium left pauldron. I can't carry any more stuff. I don't think I can use that. Let's just check. I'm sure it's adamantium that I can't use. I took off my gauntlets. I can't carry any more stuff. That's because I didn't take off. I took off my gauntlets as opposed to taking off my pauldron. Now let's try equipping that. My class prohibits that. Fair enough. It doesn't matter. It makes very minor difference. Let's just dump it. We can't use it. Pretty much at this stage as well, if you're thinking about going to the shops and buying things, you have the same kind of percentage chance of finding some good stuff. For instance, I did find a orcish pauldron in a shop to buy. It was very expensive. It was about 30,000 gold, but it was worthwhile. And what else am I going to spend that gold on? These centaurs are beasts, so I don't think they have any loot to bother about. But interesting if they do have centaurs in another Skyrim type game. Centaurs, I think, are supposed to be natives of Valenwood, or they've got some villages there, and obviously they've imported some to Hierarch. But it'll be interesting to have centaurs. We've pretty much got saber-toothed tigers in Skyrim, but it'll be nice to have centaurs. And what else do they have here? They have water nymphs. Of course, we haven't seen water nymphs because I don't really touch the water. And this is one of the other mazes that they like to have. Again, it's the rooms with the ramps going up and down, so you can't see where you're going. It just makes it, the developers probably thought, oh, it's not hard enough, these games, let's make it a little bit harder by introducing these 3D elements. But yeah, way over the top in terms of difficulty. I mean, the combat gets kind of silly now. I'm not particularly good at fighting my character. I think my Longblade skill is mediocre and the strength is mediocre. It's like mid-60s, and Longblade must be round about that, but it's enough to wipe out these characters very quickly. In a couple of sweeps I can just walk along and wipe them out. I don't even need to use my destructive spells at the moment because this Claymore's just cleaning them all out. Whenever there's an open room, I always suspect there's going to be some sort of creature that's come out, but it must have been that centaur or someone else that came out at some stage. But in these rooms, if you see an open door, this normally means, like this one, there's an enemy there, and looks like a orcish warlord. They usually have reasonable loot. What's he got behind his door? Nothing. What's he got on him? Some steel greaves of unknown power. Interesting to have, but I can't carry it. And he's got decent dwarven material. I think dwarven's actually a little bit better than elven. Not 100% sure. So I mean, if I was going to play this again, I'd probably put disadvantages as in couldn't use maces or couldn't use blunt instruments. I can't use axes, but maybe couldn't use bows, because bows have been, I haven't really needed to use a bow for the whole time. Anyway, it's almost an advantage not to level up fast, to be honest with you. Okay, so we just check on our map to see where we're going. I think we are going the right way. Yeah, we just curve all the way around. Lots of side rooms to this place that you can end up exploring, but we'll head on up this ramp. At some stage I'm going to have to sleep because my health is quite depleted. Just make sure that the area is clear. These mages especially are tricky because they can do a lot of damage to you in one go. Warriors are my favourite. Look at that, he hasn't even moved. It's almost as if he's like, oh, what are you doing out here? And I've just beat him to death. Makes a satisfying sound, this sword, as well. It sounds more like a stick as opposed to a sharp sword. Okay, that door's sprung open. There's going to be someone in there. Hello. I was considering shooting him, but he rushed out beforehand. I think this is a good place to sleep. He's got some mithril longsword. That's quite decent. Is that a decent? No, not a decent helm. Anyway, this is a nice time to rest. Okay, so someone has appeared in front of me. Look at that. Marissa Greensley says, "Who are those barbarians? They almost killed you. Maybe you should just forget about Lysandus' ghost." Who is Marissa Greensley? I take it that's some sort of hint that someone wants to kill you because of Lysandus' ghost. I see a dead person. Okay. That wasn't a NPC, or that wasn't Morgrena Greavesley itself. That was just someone sent by Morgrena Greavesley. And then what she got? She's got a note. Let's see what that note says. Cat, if you don't want to be dead as Lysandus, if you don't want to be as dead as Lysandus, if you don't want to be dead as Lysandus, kill Cat the Elf by use any means W. Not that one. This one. My good friend Lord Woodbourne says you are a hero that can be trusted. If you would be, I'd be truly indebted to you if you would have time to chat. This is Prince Elisania, Castle Wayrest. Okay. W, by the way, who wants to kill you is obviously Woodbourne. And why should I go and why should I be recommended by Lord Woodbourne to be a good friend anyway? And that's Lady Ilisaria. If we want to take that quest line, we want to go to Wayrest. Let's backstab this guy. Hello. Just a rogue. It looks like they've got still carrying around iron gear and leather gear. It's kind of Skyrim-esque actually, that they're carrying really bad gear when I'm wearing decent stuff. No one even uses steel in this. Anyway, let's save up here. I think we're heading to we're getting very close to Lord Woodbourne. At some stage you can start to make a decision whether you want to go after his, well, you can go after both. You can go after his diary and kill him if you really want to, but doesn't really add particularly much. There's nothing much in his diary except that he says I killed King Lysandus, and it also indicates that the son of King Lysandus was somewhat involved as well, which is quite nasty. There's a giant behind here, so we get to see a giant in this place. And let's just check these rooms. And you're that high up cat. A wiser high up would have let sleeping kings lie, especially when I have got such great lengths to kill them. Yes, Cat, I killed King Lysandus. Now it would be a pleasure to slay you. On guard. Indeed. I am done in. It's up to Gothrid. May you rot in hell, Cat the Elf? I most certainly will. Lord Woodbourne is dead. Okay then.
King Lysandus is at last able to rest. The wraiths and ghosts of his loyal soldiers vanish as the soul passes to the underworld, leaving the city of Daggerfall to the living.
So that's the end of that quest. His body disappears. We shall recall ourselves back, and I shall see you next time.